When a Dove and an Ant Became Friends by Kiddie short story. Once upon a time, in a sunny meadow filled with bright yellow dandelions, lived a tiny ant named Andy. Andy was a very busy ant, always scurrying about, collecting crumbs and seeds for his colony. One hot sunny day, Andy was carrying a particularly large crumb, almost as big as himself, when he accidentally slipped and tumbled into a rushing stream. "Help! Help!" he cried, but the water was too strong, and he was being swept away. High above, perched on a branch of a tall willow tree, sat a gentle dove named Daisy. Daisy heard Andy's cries and saw him struggling in the water. "Oh dear," she cooed. Without hesitation, Daisy plucked a large, soft leaf from the willow tree and dropped it into the stream near Andy. Andy, exhausted and scared, managed to climb onto the leaf. It was like a tiny floating raft. Daisy watched as the leaf carried Andy safely to the riverbank. Once Andy reached the dry land, he shook himself, tiny legs trembling, and looked up at the dove. Thank you," he chirped. "You saved my life." "You're very welcome," Daisy replied with a gentle flutter of her wings. "Be careful next time, little one." Andy, grateful and relieved, scurried back to his colony, telling all his ant friends about the kind dove who saved him. A few days later, Daisy was resting on her branch when she heard a loud snap. She looked down and saw a hunter aiming his arrow at her. The hunter was hidden behind some bushes, and Daisy was too far away to fly before the arrow reached her. Just then, Andy, who was out collecting food with his friends, saw what was happening. He remembered how Daisy had saved him. "We have to help her," he shouted to his fellow ants. All the ants, hundreds of them, rushed towards the hunter. They climbed up his legs, swarmed around his feet, and began to bite him. "Ouch! Ouch!" the hunter yelled, dropping his bow and arrow. He swatted at the ants, but they were too many. He ran away, scratching and hopping, leaving his bow behind. Daisy, startled but safe, watched as the tiny ants chased the hunter away. "Amazing," she cooed. "Thank you, little ants. You saved me." Andy and his friends looked up at Daisy, their tiny antennae waving. "We never forget a kindness," Andy said. From that day on, Daisy the dove and Andy the ant became the best of friends. They learned that even though they were very different, kindness and friendship could bloom between the smallest ant and the gentlest dove. And they lived happily in the sunny meadow, always helping each other.